You're about to open a window into the life of a ghost hunter. We'll show you dark, creepy roads that fade into the night. We'll show you haunted places, but most importantly, we'll show you what happens along the way there.
Hi everybody, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Linda.
And we are off on the road for the 4th of July weekend. We got a series of paranormal investigations. And I gotta say, I love the 4th of July. It's one of the greatest holidays we have here when we celebrate 1776, July 4th, the nation's birthday, the land of the free and the home of the brave. And I gotta say, even with all that's going on, I love this country. I do. I wouldn't live anywhere else. But what better way to spend the 4th of July than doing a paranormal investigation in Virginia's Colonial Capital, the Colonial Capital, Williamsburg.
That's right.
So tomorrow on the 4th of July, we will be down there doing a residential investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of activity perhaps kicks up, because a lot of places have banned fireworks.
Yeah.
I don't know if Williamsburg is one of them.
It is.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, there's no fireworks to be found anywhere around here.
That's too bad. That's too bad. Well, I hope people find a safe way to celebrate.
Yeah.
But even with all the energy and the significance of this date, it'll be interesting to see if activity is heightened.
That's
down
right.
there in Williamsburg. But right now, we are headed north on 13. Before long, we'll be crossing this 20-some mile Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel. And we are heading up to Georgetown, Delaware, where we're going to be doing our first investigation at a private residence. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to run footage at both of these locations. But if not, we'll still get to show you what happens along the way.
That's right.
So I'm looking for food in the near future here. What are your thoughts on the food situation?
Definitely. I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. Had a little bit of a late lunch, and it was a very tiny little lunch, so I definitely want some food. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it's going to have to be something substantial.
Yes,
Very
absolutely. And there's a couple places before we get on that bridge, but there's also several royal farms scattered throughout along Route 13. But you got to be careful there sometimes after dark, because the chicken sits out for a little bit. It seems, my opinion, from my experience. Not fact, but I've had some chicken that I didn't care for at Royal Farms after hours. We'll see. We stopped at Bojangles, and I just broke open this Bo special sauce. And sometimes special sauce is hit or miss. I can't say that I've had it before. Maybe I have, I don't know. But I got the home style tenders. Give this a little try here. That's a good tender.
So as one of my side items, I always get the dirty rice here at Bojangles. It's amazing. I absolutely love it.
Why do they call it dirty rice?
I think because it's just got all kinds of stuff inside it, peppers and sausage and, just a variety of different things. But it normally doesn't come in a bowl this big. They were pretty generous with the bowl. Normally it's like a, like this size bowl right here is the normal size. So I think I got kind of double here is what I'm thinking. And, not going to complain about that in the least bit. But, it's going to be quite a bit to eat, I'm afraid.
So here we are making a stop for coffee at Royal Farms. And we have our new COVID masks here with the VAPI logo on them.
Yep.
Shout out to our friend Jamie for making these masks for us. And I gotta say, they're quite a comfortable fit.
They are. Very comfortable.
I got my beard for like extra protection, so nothing can get out, I should say. But nonetheless, let's go in here and get some coffee. It's not the best on the interstate, but then again, we're not on an interstate, so
True.
Here we go. You're going for the gourmet blend.
Oh yeah, kind of like their regular, regular old coffee. Sometimes that's the best.
And I venture to say it's piping hot.
It is. It always is at Royal Farms. That's one good thing about Royal Farms. Always nice and hot.
So before we get back on the road, I want to point out a kind of a significant point. It was along Route 13 at this Royal Farms where Gas, Grub, and Ghosts was born.
Oh.
In May 2017.
That's right.
So 3 years ago, this is where it all started. We're driving along Route 13. We came up with an idea. We said, let's just record everything. Let's not just record the investigation, but let's record the stops. Let's record the coffee. And on the way back, at the end of that weekend, on 13, was where we came up with the name, Gas, Grub, and Ghosts.
That's cool.
Pretty cool. Birthplace of Gas, Grub, and Ghosts, right here.
Right here.
Gourmet blend. So here we are at the residence in Georgetown, Delaware, and we're getting ready to go into our baseline sweep. Some interesting stuff. We saw some clips of some pretty interesting movement that was in the bedroom and throughout the house, and some really strange sounds that have been heard throughout.
Right.
Growling. Sounded like it said, get out.
Yeah, voices, yes.
Yeah. And we did the interview. Of course, this will be on an episode of Virginia Paranormal Case Files.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to go in, do our baseline sweeps, and see what we find.
Yeah. Loaf of bread?
Loaf of bread.
Fell off the table.
Oh. I'm sitting on the couch. I can't see. There's a full loaf sitting here on the table.
Yeah.
And I took here and look. I heard it. Clunk. Like I made her look. It's over here underneath the chair.
Oh, jeez. Maybe it was hungry. Wanted a sandwich.
I didn't know loaves of bread bounced.
Yeah, that's really strange. Yeah.
Under the chair?
Yeah, that's really odd. You can see it falling right off, but not bouncing somewhere else. Huh. Very odd. They've got their stash of toilet paper over here.
Yeah, we're starting to see that back on the shelves nowadays, which is good. But Linda's taking these baseline pictures, and we always take them in duplicate.
Right. Taking them in duplicate so that we can kind of compare one picture to the next one that was taken only seconds later. And also so that we can kind of look back and see what is in the house when the lights are on. And that way, when we're recording later on with video, if we see something on the video when the lights are out, we can look and say, okay, well, that's just a coat rack in the corner that looks like a person standing there. So kind of helps in a number of ways.
So Linda actually caught a ghost in the window here. If we look
did.
down
Yeah.
at this, go ahead and zoom in on that.
I was looking, reviewing
Look
the
at
picture.
that.
Look at that.
Right in the window.
And
it
it
looks
just-
familiar.
It does. I believe that's the VAPI ghost.
What are the odds?
Actually, it's probably projecting from the magnet that's on the side of our car. It just looks a little strange because it looks a little larger than what you would expect it to look.
Right.
You
But
know.
in reality, it is the magnet.
It is, yeah.
What's your name? Saw some stuff fly in front of the camera. Can you come near that device with the red light on it for us, right there? Let us know that you're here. We know you came near it when we left. So we're here at the Royal Farms, somewhere in Virginia, along Route 13.
Yep.
And we've been looking for some lodging.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, for some reason, like every motel, even the 2-star ones,
Yeah.
are like $240.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Maybe 4th of July weekend,
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's
think
just the
that's it.
Eastern Shore.
Either
I
that or
don't know.
they're 120 and they have no vacancy.
Yeah, no vacancy.
Yeah, we're just trying to sleep 5 hours.
Right, so we're probably gonna have to do that in a Walmart parking lot
Yeah.
if they're open.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we got some interesting stuff here. Shall we lay it out on the hood?
I guess. So, the first thing we've got is a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. One of those little pre-made
yeah.
ones, nice and hot, right? Comes
Yeah, it's
out
like
of the
they
warming
just made
oven.
that for breakfast.
Yep. And Jeff got the same. And I got a caramel frappuccino. I'm not a Starbucks fan. I do not actually like Starbucks at all. But it looked like it would be strong or something, you know, like a strong coffee. So that's what I got.
All right, and some Cloverland, 100% pure orange juice.
Yep.
Here we have it. And like I said, it's breakfast time, so they probably made it fresh. It's about 5 in the morning here. And yeah, looks like it's got the melted cheese on there, the sausage patty, the egg. It's got the biscuit. Would have gone for the chicken if they had it, but I didn't see one in there. We didn't want to wait for them to make it.
Yeah.
But being this late at night, so late at night that it's actually early in the morning, I'm gonna have to take a little bite of this sandwich. That's a good sandwich. It's Independence Day. Happy birthday, America. And we are heading down to the Colonial Capitol of Williamsburg for an investigation tonight. Now, the strangest thing, while we were driving through Newport News, we saw all these fireworks. Big crowd gathered around, no one wearing their masks, and we're wondering what in the world is going on here. We thought fireworks were banned this 4th of July.
Right.
So we wandered to the middle of this crowd, and sure enough, there's Tanya holding the match. Tanya, tell us about those fireworks down there in Newport News today.
Oh, I just figured I'd do something for excitement.
You got to. They typically wait till nighttime, but hey, it's Independence all day, right? So before we get down there to Williamsburg, of course, we also got Will back there.
Yeah, he's back there.
Yeah. Will, plug our live investigation that's coming up on July 18th at 8:30 p.m.
So on July 18th at 8:30 p.m., VAPI will be doing a live investigation for about 2 hours. It'll be simulcast between Facebook and YouTube. We'll go ahead and put up a whole bunch of stuff for you guys so that way you know how to find it, how to get onto it and watch. Of course, we'll take your live questions. We'll be able to communicate with you guys live. And it's really fun. I'm really excited. It's going to be our first live investigation. And it'll be at the Octagon House in Withville, Virginia.
That's right. So we're really looking forward to getting out there. It looks like an awesome place. I mean, this place is a mansion.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. But in the meantime,
Food.
right, we've got to put the second G into this trip, which is grub, right? Gas,
Yes.
grub, yes. So let's find a place to eat here. So Will,
Whoa, what is
this
that?
thing right here is called a Key Smart, right? And it does everything. Like you can use this end to touch screens and buttons on the ATM. This little hook, you can use it to hook the doors and pull them open. And you can also use it to push when you're going outdoors. So I never have to touch anything.
Wow.
But what I realized is I had the gas pump, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I push the buttons with this. But then I still had to pick up the gas pump to pump the gas.
It doesn't
So
do
it doesn't
everything.
do that. No, but it's good for doors.
I love it. I thought it was like a really extravagant can opener.
I don't know. We can probably
Like a beer opener.
probably get it in there somehow.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't
It's
it?
perfect for 2020.
That's right. 2020 all over it. So I'd like to take this time while we're here at Burger King, getting ready to chow down on some grub, to actually respond to a viewer comment. Our first viewer comment of the trip. And this one comes from longtime follower Anthony Rice. And he says, wow, that's a blast from the past. Now this comment was on the last video I posted, which was the VAPI archives, where I posted a video from a while back. He said, wow, that's a blast from the past. This is the kind of team you had when I first started watching you guys. Lake Shawnee Amusement Park was my first, if my mind hasn't fully left me yet. Great investigation. Yes, Anthony, that is correct. You remember the Lake Shawnee Amusement Park investigation? Once again, it was done with the same camera, kind of rough audio and stuff like that, but we really enjoyed that trip. We camped out there overnight, and we wandered around the amusement park, did some EVP sessions and such, but it was a great trip, and we really appreciate you watching our videos. Even after you saw that one, you kept watching. So we really appreciate that. And I would like to dedicate this to you. Anthony, this bite's for you.
That's such a big bite.
The dolls are all in timeout. That's creepy. Who's a good boy? Yeah. And there's Will. He's our dog man specialist.
Hi. Hi, puppy. There's another one.
Yeah, they all come in to see Will. Except for this one. This one's been following me for some reason. Look at this guy.
The light switch right that's not taped, flip that on. So that's Wilbur.
That's Wilbur. Hey, Wilbur.
Jeez. He's being good. He's gonna bark at me. Well, he's warning me now. Leave me alone. Good boy. Good boy. So that's Wilbur.
Wow, that's quite a pig. Wow. That is some pig.
All right, he'll get it.
What's that saying? That spider web behind him there?
His tongue stuck out.
Hey, look at these guys, huh?
Constance thinks he's
Hey, what up?
Hello.
There he goes.
Hi.
he's confused and thinks this is a female dog. And he's not.
Hey. Who's a good billy goat, huh?
Oh, the beard. So when we first moved in here, I was out
Look at this guy. It's a big dog right here. It's like a polar bear. It's like the Godzilla, Dogzilla. Yeah, look at him. Can't even get far enough back to get them both in the screen. All right. So we're setting up the equipment at our base station here.
There is some bug spray for you.
So it's kind of hot out here, very still. We're hoping it cools off a little bit as the night progresses. But we're getting everything set up here. We have our DVR system, and we're going to run the wires inside the house, find the correct positioning for the cameras for the evening. And we have this nice tent thing that they had set up for us. It's screened in, so I don't think we have to worry too much about bugs. But we have quite a few animals on the property as well that we have to kind of take into account. There are 2 goats, there is a pig, there's multiple cats, there's 4 dogs, and there's multiple deer walking around here that they feed and take care of. So we have to kind of take that into account as the night progresses too, when we start investigating, that they may be making noises at certain times. So kind of a unique investigation. It's going to be kind of a cool one.
So some of the stuff that's been going on here, it's a lot focused around the daughter. She's been seeing some things and hearing some things, but everyone in the house has. There's at least 3 figures that have been reported, 2 males and 1 female. The female's described to be a little middle-aged, probably in her late 50s. So that's one of the figures that we're looking for, and we're trying to figure out why they're here, what they want, of course. There's been some interesting things that happened. He has this John Deere tractor, which is awesome. And he said he bought it from this guy that passed away. And after the guy passed away, he gets a phone call from this guy's number. And he said there was nobody on the other line. Of course, he tried to call it back. Phone wouldn't ring. It's like it's been disconnected. He was wondering if, he said perhaps he didn't take care of the tractor the same way that the guy did. So one thing, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here tonight, but one thing that I'm really interested in doing is investigating this tractor. I kind of want to go over there, run a spirit box session, see if there's something attached to it. I think it'll be cool.
So what I'm doing now is I'm leading the cable from the DVR that's out here at our base station up to the bedroom upstairs. And I'm also taking another camera to be facing down the hallway towards the bedroom. So if there's any activity outside the room, any activity in the room, we'll be able to capture it. Hey Linda, is there any other place you want the camera?
Actually, yeah, I want to cover the downstairs, probably somewhere maybe on the kitchen counter so that it can shoot down the hallway, through that little utility room and toward the back door, because he said he feels like that's sort of a thoroughfare, I guess, for the spirits, like maybe they move back and forth through there. So I think that would be a good place to cover it.
Okay. And then what about the part, he said like in the master bedroom, he saw something standing in there. Do you want to do that?
We want to
hallway
cover, well, I don't see, it'd be nice to be able to cover the master bedroom mirror, because that's where they say they see things kind of in the mirror. If we can find a good vantage point in there to cover as much as we can.
So I'll get that little hallway first, and then we'll see what we can do about the bedroom.
Okay. Did you already run upstairs?
Yeah, upstairs I have both cameras up there.
Okay.
We'll have one in the little girl's room. It'll be facing towards the bed.
Okay.
And then we'll have the other one. There's actually a perfect little storage crate up there. It's perfect eye level. You can see straight down the hallway.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So we should have all the connectors, the silver connectors that we need already on the wires then, I guess. All right. So we're good.
Yeah, there's no piece in here.
Yeah. He's probably already got the 1 or 2 that we have on the wires, and it's the other one I'm trying to find.
Now you're dead.
Tanya, what are you doing over there?
Killing freaking wasps.
Oh man, now you're gonna have PETA after us.
Oh look, here's another one.
Oh,
Whoa!
get him, Will.
You sprayed it at me. I'm not Tanya.
You're a baby.
Oh, it's on the thing. It's on the thing. Hang on, it's coming towards me. It's gonna kill me.
No.
Get it, Tanya. Get it.
Get him.
Kill it.
You're such a baby.
No. It's running away.
Go away. You're such a baby. Now I'll show you what I killed the other day at my house.
Oh, jeez. Keep in mind, Tanya's doing this expressly at her own will. It doesn't reflect the views of VAPI by any means. We love all animals and bees and everything.
Yeah, we do. Never mind.
Tanya doesn't, though.
I'm not going to show you what I did the other day.
Right here. Yeah, I need to know if that's wind flow or something that's going to be constantly moving that, so we can kind of determine if that's from a vent.
Okay, I'll go check it out.
We can always turn off the overhead ceiling fan if we have to, but...
That's highly recommended because they're noisy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So that might be a good idea. But if there's a vent up there or something, we also want to take that into account, that there's something that might be moving things around.
All right, so I can see it moving. And it's not even the whole bedspread, it's just a tag. Yeah, I think that's the ceiling fan. Let's try.
Cutting it off.
Is there a switch for it, or? Oh, there's two of them. Yeah. Yeah, I feel a flow coming through here.
And there's an AC vent right above the window.
No, the only AC vents are by the door.
There is a vent. Yeah, there's a vent above the window. I don't feel the breeze coming from over here. We just turned off the fans to see if that makes it stop moving. Yeah, so it was the fans that was making it move.
And then where do you want the camera in this room?
What was the... Do we have any in that room yet?
Not in here, no.
This is the one where we want to watch the mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many cameras you have?
4.
Four. Place it up here.
I think that'd be good.
So I've got one more camera. I came in to see where Will ran the cord to. I think it's probably this one.
I'm thinking of putting it on top of the bed, like on the
headboard.
the headboard. Yeah.
All right. And then we might have to make some slight adjustments. And then I think we'll be ready to roll.
And it was in this mirror where she saw the man with the red shirt, right?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Straight down. Leave it there and then come take a look.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really move it.
That's good. Whatever you just did.
If I move it too much more.
So this is what you don't get to see when we're setting up the cameras. It's like, move it to the left a little bit. No, your other left. And you can't.
Your VAPI left.
Yeah. That's right.
Now you got
So we're looking at this video of this possible apparition right here in this area. You can see it walk down the hallway. It almost looks like a little girl looking at it from this angle, like I'm looking at it through the camera lens here.
I don't know. I think it's too tall to be a child. And that's one thing I want to look at with you. I want to go and look at that vantage point, and I want to be able to determine how tall this thing actually is. Mm-hmm. Because that kind of helps in our line of questioning later on. So I think maybe somebody ought to stand where that camera is usually mounted and look in that direction, and we can have somebody else just kind of, to walk through there and determine if it's taller, if it's shorter.
Taller than the tallest figure?
I think you're taller than it.
Okay.
Will is definitely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's taller. Hold on, walk in there again.
Yeah.
Okay, now what we got to do is recreate this scene right here. Hold on, watch his shadow when he walks in there. Go ahead, Will.
Okay.
Watch his shadow on this door here. And watch how it...
Yeah.
See how it goes
Yeah.
in?
Now the conditions are different too because it's all dark in that bedroom. So we got to turn the lights out. All the lights would have to be in the same way that they are on there.
Right.
We can recreate it tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think maybe we ought to take a little
I
time
can
later on
crouch.
to
You can
cut.
see how tall the other
That's
figure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we'll recreate that.
And we can actually do with the same camera, so I give you access, and we can
Yeah,
point
that's
it,
true.
turn the lights off, we can go live
Yeah.
with
That'd
the
be
camera.
great.
That's
and
true.
We can do that.
It's
Yeah.
definitely shorter than Will.
And this is one. Seems to be climbing on the side of the tent here.
Yeah. Look at that cute little guy.
He's just looking around.
Yeah. He's got fairly long antenna.
He does. Antennae. Yeah.
Antennae.
That guy. Oh, getting blurry.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so
is it?
doing our baseline sweeps, looking in the attic up here. What is that? What is it? That's creepy. Whoa! Oh, this room's well lit.
Yeah, I turned it on.
Hey, who's that guy in the mirror?
I don't know. You. Whose room is this?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Pretty normal so far. I took the tri-field meter over to her bed, see if there's any readings there. Nothing. There's actually nothing in here that knocked this up above a 1.
All right, so it's break time.
Oh, y'all got your mask on.
Yeah, Tanya.
Am I the reject from?
Always being a rebel. Always
So
being a rebel.
inconsiderate.
Yeah.
I can go get mine if y'all got to be that way.
That's all right. I already locked the door and everything. But we're here at Francesca's Ristorante Italiano. I do like some Italian food.
Oh yeah.
Will, was this your idea here?
Yeah, it was my idea. I hear good things about it. I've never actually been, so I'm excited. I'm gonna get a big salad.
Oh, the big salad. Gotta like the big salad. Tanya, what are you gonna get? Some
I'm
fries?
not sure yet. It's a surprise.
Some fries and ketchup?
Yeah, some fries and ketchup.
Virginia Gazette. Spotlight on success. We got some good reviews here already. We haven't even gone in yet. Woo! So I gotta say, I love the decor in this restaurant.
Let's just go grab a bottle.
Isn't it nice?
I'm ready for Remy and for
trust us in
Ratatouille
this
to come
room?
out, the little
Yeah.
mouse and everything, like he runs this restaurant.
So did you go for the big salad, Will?
No, I didn't. I actually got the seafood cannelloni.
Oh.
It has like shrimp, scallops, tiger shrimp, crab meat, any other seafood thing you can think of.
Nice.
I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. Tanya, you went for the manicotti, hold the cotty.
And as long as he stays away from me, I'll be safe. I'm highly allergic to all the stuff he got.
Oh geez. All that seafood.
All that stuff he got. I'm allergic.
There's no
Like you can't smell it or
I
touch it or
can't even be
anything.
near it, so don't even breathe on
You
me.
better put that COVID mask on.
Yeah. So I got the stuffed shells, and I got what they call pink Alfredo sauce, which I'm not familiar with. So of course we had to ask, what is pink Alfredo sauce? Like, what makes it pink? And we went ahead and went with it because it sounds like it's pretty good. She called it a blush of marinara sauce in there.
That's kind of what I said about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jeff called it. Yeah, of course, Jeff is a quarter Italian, so he has those sort of Italian instincts. And stuff
Instincts.
about
It was
these
instinct
things.
right
Yeah,
there.
completely instinct. He went on and he was right. So I'll have to trust his judgment on Italian food more often.
Absolutely.
I didn't believe him at first. I didn't believe Jeff at first. I thought it had to be something more, but no, Jeff is a brilliant man.
Every once in a while, Jeff tells a story.
Yeah, a tall tale, let's say.
And a broken clock is right at least twice a day. So.
Maybe.
What are we looking
That
at
is
here?
some
What
cinnamon,
is
too.
this?
This is an Italiano cappuccino.
Oh, cappuccino.
Yeah.
Man,
is
that looks
legit.
really amazing.
Came in recently.
It has like a cinnamon on top, nice
Yeah.
little froth, nice and warm.
So that
You
doesn't
gotta
make
love the
sense
froth.
either.
That's like the
Yeah.
best part.
There we go, hon. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yep, enjoy it.
And some extra sugar just in case.
Yeah.
She mentioned
No, that's
We're
what
fine. No, we got.
She mentioned Indu, which we
feel like it's
haven't
gonna be
done
really
yet,
hot.
which we were supposed to. Would like to have done that before I retired and dig back out.
Chug, 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 chug.
No chuck.
Is that hot or cold?
Hot.
It's hot.
It's really good. The cinnamon has a good little touch to it
Oh, nice.
because it kind of sweetens it up a little bit. That's really
It looks
good.
pretty good. They put a nice head on that thing. Very nice head. I used to be a barista. I am a certified barista. Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna put a little more sugar.
Yeah, and it actually is not that easy to make a good thick froth on the top of those things like that. So they have NASA applications and things like that, and it's much more expensive than we could ever, use. It was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for the most smallest, like little minute one.
and Linda's talking about something that detects infrasound.
Infrasound, yes. And so we're trying to figure out if there's another way to detect it. They have apps that you can download on your telephone, but I'm not sure that they actually work.
Yeah.
But frequencies in general are kind of an interesting thing because they've said that there are certain frequencies that will get rid of spirits or certain frequencies that will draw spirits. And this one lady's house that we went into, she was playing this continuous tone, and we were like, what is that? She believed that this tone would get rid of the spirits or would drive out the spirits. So she's playing this thing continuously, and it was like driving us nuts. But yeah, a lot of people believe that. So frequencies are kind of one of those things that we ought to kind of play around with. I do have an app on my phone that does create certain frequencies.
I'm not sure that can create infrasound either.
No, it can't create infrasound. No, because it doesn't go
And you got to
low
consider
enough.
the volume too.
Right, and the volume would have to be just right.
The volume
yeah.
and the pitch are two different things we got to consider.
Exactly, yeah, but frequencies in general is kind of an interesting thing to mess around with or to experiment with on our investigations.
I actually spoke with a guy. He was having paranormal activity. He was a professor at a college out in California. Was kind of person, I don't believe it unless it happens. Things started happening. He's sleeping. Things are pulling on his blankets, grabbing his legs. Well, it got to the point where his legs were swelling up, and there was no explanation for it. He had no medical reason or anything. So he started experimenting with these different frequencies, and he found out that if he took two speakers and played this particular frequency through the speakers, put it up on his legs, the swelling actually went down. So he said this frequency that he discovered just from messing around with different frequencies, it actually drives spirits nuts. So I gotta say, I tried this Caesar salad, and it's pretty amazing. What's the verdict over there, Will?
It's really good. It's almost gone.
And Linda, I was looking at this bread. It does look very good, and you've actually tried it.
I did.
It was good.
It is amazing. It's not just garlic on there. There's probably some sort of garlic powder, but it's also got some sort of like pesto and basil and maybe a little bit of Parmesan cheese mixed in, and of course lots of butter, and it's very, very good. I venture to say probably the best garlic bread I've ever had. Really, really good.
All right, so we're going to take a minute to respond to viewer comments. And I'm going to turn the camera around to Will here, and he's going to pick one of his favorites from our previous videos and respond to it.
So, user by the name of Mikey's Son, I think that's how you pronounce it, says, Will, go sit in that closet alone. Will, go sit in that basement alone. Will is the new Aaron, LOL. So he's referencing the guy from Ghost Adventures. So Aaron from Ghost Adventures, they always make him do the crazy stuff, sitting alone and everything. I enjoy it. I like doing it. I appreciate you bringing that up and comparing me to Aaron. But I like the thrill of it. I think that's pretty fun, especially when you get to a creepy location, because not every place you go to feels creepy. So I like to do that at the really creepy locations to kind of get more bang for your buck kind of thing. And with the same user, Mikey's Son, he also said, I don't know if I can be friends with Will now, knowing he doesn't like spicy foods. Ugh, Will, my man. I don't know about you now, bro. That's okay. I think we can still be friends.
All right. So we got Will trying out the bread here.
Yeah, you just come in for tea and bread.
Nice.
I know.
Okay, so I like to point out, this is like a different type of garlic bread. Like, it doesn't look like how it normally is. I'm excited. Should I take an obnoxious bite, or?
I would say yes.
Okay.
It doesn't taste
That way we can
garlicky.
react.
Obnoxious.
It's more cheesy.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
look at that.
That is an obnoxious
Then
bite.
you won't even get to taste it.
Wow.
I told you it's really good.
He goes, the butter like drips in your mouth.
Okay, so this was the seafood. I forget what this was called. Do you remember? It's got shrimp and scallops in a pink Alfredo sauce. Though.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
And I remember you talked about yours as well. It has everything seafood
Mine
in
is
there,
the
right?
seafood cannelloni.
Yeah, look at that.
It has 3 different types of shrimp: crab meat, lobster, scallops, something else.
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
That's good stuff.
That's a plethora of seafood.
And there's Tanya's man, Akati.
What is he talking about?
That looks pretty good.
It does look good. It's hot too.
And here's my stuffed shell. See, there's a shell hiding underneath all of the spinach
I
and
almost
this
got
pink
that,
Alfredo.
too. I like
It
this.
looks really good. I like a lot of spinach.
So I want to show you guys. So you see these noodles right here? These noodles on the inside of them is crab meat. Like that is, I thought it was going to be ricotta, but it's,
That's good stuff.
that is so good.
Yeah, and Will shared a bite with me, of course, and I gotta say that was pretty amazing. That was really good, really good. How's the manicotti?
It's very cheesy and very good.
Yeah, and I like that grated Parmesan cheese. Just comes out like snow. That's good stuff.
This comes out like snow. Yeah, this is, I have to say, this is really amazing. I'd never had the pink Alfredo sauce before. It's actually slightly orange, it's, from an artist's perspective. But orange Alfredo doesn't quite sound as appetizing, I guess, but it is extremely good. There's lots of cheese in here. Of course, there's the pasta that is sitting in, and then spinach. Lots of spinach.
And I gotta say, I had a couple of bites of this, and this was really good. So after eating all that I had, and 2 pieces of bread,
Yeah.
Linda talked me into getting some cappuccino
Yeah.
by saying, she said, I'm getting cappuccino, and that was enough convincing. So I got some, and I gotta say, it
I was
is
happy you
it is
got
pretty
some.
good.
It
It
is.
is
It's
amazing
amazing.
cappuccino. Much better than that stuff that comes out of the machine at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, much better.
I don't know, the one at 7-Eleven though.
They're pretty good.
I mean,
this is
you can put cookies and cream in those cappuccinos.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is
So,
true.
Come on.
Okay, so we're back here at the residence. Sure enough, I hear some fireworks going off.
Yeah, 4th of July.
Right. And what better way to spend it than right along the route that Washington and Lafayette took on their way to Yorktown?
To gain our independence.
Absolutely. Isn't that cool?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought that was the washing machine just kicked on.
The washing machine is going, but the HVAC just kicked on as well.
Yeah.
The AC kicked on.
Now that's funny because now that thing's going off.
The AC kicked on.
Well, yeah, but it
But
didn't
now it's doing
before.
sound.
Now it's doing the sound. See, that's what I don't understand about that thing is downstairs it was flickering,
Right.
but there was no sound.
But up here there was sound both times.
Not when we first came in. When we first came in, that thing's been flickering the whole time.
Up here?
But there was no sound. Right.
Is the battery dying in it?
I don't know. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time that it came on, the HVAC wasn't on.
It shouldn't be dying because that battery hasn't been in nearly as long as the one the when I put that battery in was at that hot yoga studio, and that was the first time I changed the battery since I got that thing. And I think we got it back in like December.
Yeah, so that battery's got to be still good.
And this is a diehard battery in there. It's not the one that came with it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so that's gonna last forever.
It sure is. It's gonna last a lot longer than that yellow one that came with it.
Sponsored by Diehard.
Yeah.
not sponsored by or endorsed. But if they would like to sponsor us, Diehard, if you would like to, we would love that.
Yeah,
we'll even
we
wear
like the
Diehard
batteries.
shirts.
Yeah.
We'd love to get that ghost band with the sponsor money.
Yeah, but I mean, the only reason is I don't know about the sound. I don't know what's with the sound, but I mean, with it coming on in conjunction with the air conditioner coming on, obviously.
No, I kind of feel like whatever this is probably outside.
But that gives me an idea. Well, you said it feels creepy walking up here by yourself.
Oh, God.
What are you,
I was
what are you going to make me do, Jeff? Where am I going? Am I going outside with the pig? What's happening?
No, but I was thinking, I wonder if what would happen if somebody's up here by themselves.
Maybe
You
we
know?
ought to leave
Maybe
him
even like
upstairs
laying
by
in,
himself.
Lay in the bed or
laying the
something.
mermaid
Yeah.
bed.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
Try it.
I can leave my digital voice recorder here. We can leave the REM pod.
Y'all can check the cameras. I'll keep the
Yeah.
walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I'll take the spirit box and stuff back downstairs with me, but
Okay.
if you want to just bring those two things when you come, that would be good.
Yep. All right, so there's Will doing the solo EVP session, and we got him monitored down here on the surveillance system, so we can see if there's any activity up there in the room while he's there. Can see the REM pod. I think we got a perfect angle from here, and also we got the 4K camera sitting up there on the table.
Jeff has on his headphones, so he cannot hear anything that we're saying at all. We're going to go ahead and do a spirit box session upstairs in the bedroom.
I want to know who is in this room that talks to Nadia and myself. I've heard you. I know you're here. Why are you here? Tell me why you're here.
AC just kick on? I just felt a cold.
I got it here.
Cold.
Too.
Did it kick on, the AC?
Nope. And I just got it right behind me.
No?
Nope. Right here.
Just a cold gush of air came right through
It
here.
came right behind me, and I got chills on my back. What's your name? Oh my God. I am got goosebumps, the hair standing up on my arms. Why are you here? Who are you? I'm not afraid of you. Show yourself. Don't be a coward. Show yourself. How many people are up here? You're in my house. I need to know who you are and why you're here.
The AC on now?
No.
Cold air keeps blowing in from somewhere. I just felt it again.
Tell us your name. Where are you from? Have you always been here?
It might have been something on the radio. I couldn't make out what it said.
When did you come to this house? Why are you afraid to show yourself or talk to us tonight? We know you're here.
So I gotta say, Tanya, fun fact, right? This weekend has been a weekend of birthdays, okay?
Okay.
On Friday, we stopped at the Royal Farms, right where Gas, Grub, and Ghost was born, right?
Okay.
Today, America was born. Well, yesterday, because it's now technically the 5th.
Okay.
But right here, this Dunkin' Donuts, this is where Paranormal Pit Stops was born.
Who said that? You?
This is where we decided to start eating food and reviewing that in videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that together with the ghost hunting, you got Gas, Grub, and Ghosts.
Yay.
What's that say?
Says we can't go in here anymore.
Oh, man.
So the next viewer submitted question, well, more of a statement, is by Scott Pierce. This is from the most recent video. It asks, just remember, 25 years ago, houses didn't have the CMF and very few people saw ghosts in their homes. We are now bridging the gap between realities. What would happen if we put new 5G networks into all homes with high levels of EMF? Would we see Jesus? There would be a lot of pastors out of work. His next comment, here's some knowledge for you all. EMF is what your Wi-Fi emits into the air in your house. Same with microwaves, old TVs, clock radios, etc. It takes opening the doors in the house to help lower the EMF levels. Also, granite rock holds energy and is associated with ley lines. Electricity in your home is not EMF, which stands for electromagnetic frequency. What do you say to that, Jeff?
Scott, that's an interesting statement, absolutely. And I do have to say, I have heard of different minerals holding this field and putting off this electromagnetic field. Now, the thing is, with the field, houses 25 years ago absolutely had EMF. Anytime they had refrigerators, and since there's been electricity, there's been electromagnetic fields, because the E in electromagnetic fields comes from the electricity that's actually put off, the field that's put off from this electricity, I should say. I happen to have in my back pocket an electromagnetic field detector, and I walk around with this all the time. I took it into Dunkin' Donuts with me. Well, not really in, because the doors were locked, but I carry this around, and I want to kind of show you that if we were to say opening the doors would let the electromagnetic fields out, that's actually not true, because as you see, if I hold this up to the car hood, the electromagnetic field comes straight through the metal of the car hood. So opening up doors doesn't let it out. It comes out of the walls. That's why when we walk around, we do our baseline sweep, we get high levels at certain areas where you don't see anything on the wall, but if you go around the other side, say the garage is on the other side of the wall, you'll see a big electric box there. The 5G towers.
5G
Tell me,
towers.
I'm unfamiliar. I gotta say, I know my phone has like 5G, I think.
4G.
It's a 4G, maybe. It's a little thing that appears in the top.
So the whole thing is we've kind of gone from 3G to 4G and to now some places using 5G. Basically, those towers are what we're able to use to transmit data, like with cell phones. So the more Gs that it has, the faster the data can transmit and the more data that you can transmit. So pretty much with 5G, the thinking is that there's now more energy passing through us. Just like we already had radio waves constantly passing through us, waves from televisions and everything else constantly passing through us. Now 5G is so strong that it'll mess up the very electrons in our bodies and rip us to shreds or mind control us or anything like that. So that's the thing. That's the conspiracy theory behind 5G towers.
I'm not too familiar with how the G works. You know, I mean, I'm not too familiar with the G thing. But I will tell you that the cell phone frequencies have to be picked up on a different device than the actual EMF detector, because I've never known anything in the air to give off these electromagnetic fields.
Right, and we've had cell phones right next to the EMF detector. We've had radios next to an EMF detector, and none of those make the EMF detector go off. The only things that have been microwaves coming directly from a microwave, and stuff from like a car battery, that kind of thing, but never from a radio signal. In which cell phones use radio signals. That's how they hit the 3G, 4G, or 5G towers. It's through radio signals.
Yeah, so radio signals, they shouldn't set off an EMF detector. Now, I will say too, in that house, one thing we did was cut the breaker. And when we went through this house, the EMF field was so high throughout the house, not just in the house. And typically if there's power lines overhead, or I haven't really seen this as much with ones that are buried in the ground, which was the case in Virginia Beach. Typically it's when they're overhead. But this EMF field existed all throughout the house, all over the property, and even down the street, 3 houses down along the street. So this was quite a field that we figured was coming from the street lights, because they put these street lights in fairly recently, and shortly after that, the woman started experiencing headaches and dizziness, and we found these high levels of EMF. So I don't believe, I mean, if we cut the breaker, I don't believe it would have been coming from the microwave or anything like that in the house. The last part of the statement I missed, seeing Jesus. Why is that?
He just asked if we put in the new 5G network into all homes with high levels of EMF, would we see Jesus? That would put a lot of pastors out of work.
Well, because it could kill people?
No, it's just saying that if you put in a 5G network, so right now we're able to see ghosts, which is 4G. You know, imagine if we have 5G, like now where ghosts are going to be more active because now we have such a powerful radio signal coming in.
So if we have 5G, we're going to be able to see Jesus. We already see ghosts, now we're going to be able to see Jesus.
Oh.
You're being a smart ass.
Oh, I see. I didn't even realize. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. You know, well, interesting thing. I mean, ghost sightings go way, way back.
And so does Jesus.
And so does Jesus. Absolutely, they've been seeing them for a long time. The connection with EMF and ghost sightings, they've never really proven that EMF can go as far as to cause people to hallucinate. In fact, they haven't really done extensive enough studies into EMF to find out the total impact that it has on people. But it does definitely have some negative effects. Like I said, at least headaches, dizziness. But even in a lot of houses where there are no EMFs present, people talk about experiencing some pretty serious activity. And I've been doing investigations, I think, before the G's came out, the 4Gs and the 5Gs, because I don't recall hearing about them till the past like 5 years or something like that. I don't remember. So I mean, there's been a lot of ghost sightings before these networks came out, you know.
Yeah,
so
well, I mean, all the houses that we go to, typically at any part in the house, it's only at like 1 on the scale, and the only time it goes up is when you're actually next to a refrigerator or next to a microwave or next to a TV. So unless that's where you're sleeping is next to those things, you know, that's not going to be any sort of issue. Because those fields don't extend out as far as you think they do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But thanks for the comment. We really appreciate it.
And we hope that we answered it as thoroughly as possible. So the next comment is from Alex B. This is from 2 months ago when we did our Just Before Quarantine video. It says, "Get right with God. When you're going around these haunted places, you're asking for trouble if you don't have Christ." Linda, what do you say to that?
So I have to say, I believe you're absolutely right. We are a Christian-based organization. We're one of the few, I think, in the country that actually has Christian values and Christian beliefs that we bring into our paranormal investigations. We believe that this is the only way to really truly protect yourself We don't believe in the power of saging. It's kind of a pagan practice. And we've seen too many cases where it looks like saging actually, will work for a little while, but then it kind of comes back, whatever it is. Christianity kind of gives us the option of using prayer and scripture, holy water, frankincense, things of that nature. And the results seem to be more permanent in our experience than, just using some other form of house cleansing. Now, that being said, of course, we do bring other people of other religions onto the group. We like a variety of different beliefs. We like to hear different people's opinions. But there are cases where we kind of hesitate to bring certain people on investigations that we think may be demonic, because we're scared that there's going to be some sort of a form of attachment and that something's going to follow them home. So we do kind of hold our Christian values dear to our hearts. We try to make sure that we are right with God whenever we go into any investigation.
Well, according to Scott, all you need is 5G and you'll have Jesus with you. And wrapping up our Independence Day weekend, I think we should take this time to kind of tell why we appreciate our state, what we like about Virginia. Like I've said before at the beginning of the video, I love it here in America, I really do. Even with all that's going on, it's a great country. And of course, it's these 50 states together that make it such a great country. And what I really love about Virginia is the diversity. I mean, in the course of 6 hours, you can go from being at the sandy shores of Virginia Beach to the mountains out in the western part of the state. Beautiful countryside, nice people all throughout. I mean, all the stops we make in these small towns, the people are so friendly. And I see a lot of patriotic people throughout the state flying their American flags, and a lot of good people are out there. So I really do like this state. But one thing I love about it is the history. Because of course, you have to have history to have hauntings. I always said that, you can't have hauntings without history. A place like we are right now in Williamsburg, the Colonial Capitol. So many of our founding fathers did such great things here. This is where they left from Williamsburg to head down to Yorktown, which is also in Virginia, of course, to win the Revolutionary War. I mean, Virginia, I gotta say, has America written all over it.
I really have to agree with Jeff. I think history is one of the more important things about the state of Virginia. History is what Virginia was built upon. It's just got such a rich history, not only through the eastern part where you have Williamsburg and Yorktown and Richmond, but in the western part as well, you've got the Appalachian Mountains that hold a completely different history than the east. And everything in between. You've got a little bit of everything when it comes to the geology or the geography of the place. It's just so diverse. Another thing that I like about the state of Virginia is that I've got such strong roots here. It seems like we're always going someplace, and Jeff mentions some name of someone, and I'm like, hey, I'm related to that guy, and he thinks that I'm related to everybody, and that Virginia's a state full of incestuous people because everybody leads for some reason down to me. But not really, but he's often amazed at how many people I'm actually related to in the state of Virginia. General Thomas Nelson, and there's a great many, Benjamin Harrison. Because of that, I think it's a pretty cool place to live. I can always go somewhere and see the name of one of my ancestors on some plaque somewhere. So that's kind of cool.
So I was born and raised in Virginia all my life. And probably, to kind of add on to what you guys have already said, I love the history here. Of course, there's plenty of battlefields. I love being able to go out of my house and decide to go on a ghost investigation and decide, do I want to go talk to colonists from the 1600s, or do I want to go up the street and talk to someone that passed away in the 1950s? There's a lot of options that you have in this state compared to others that have such a short history span. Something else that I do want to tack on to what you guys said is the diversity of the people, the diversity of the places that you can go and see. For instance, for the people, we live in a majority military area, so there's constantly new people coming in and out. There's constantly new people that we meet on investigations. A lot of the people that we end up going to their house are military. This is something that they've carried their life and has now come into their new home, or it's just the act of them moving into a new home which kicks up whatever spirit happened to have been there. On top of the diversity of the people, all the different people that we've met on our trip in the state of Virginia, is the diversity of the gas stations and the Grub. You can't really go too far north before you start running out of Wawas and Sheets and all these other pretty cool places. Yeah, you got some every once in a while, but they're pretty sparse. And then when you start going south and you kind of get away from, you kind of get into the sticks a little bit, there's not that many Sheets or, you know, gas stations out there. It's a bunch of 7-Elevens or some of the like very hole in the wall places that don't have cool restaurants on the inside, that you don't get to have like that special meal, that special, what a good sandwich, you know? That's Virginia to me. And I love Virginia, and I love the United States of America.
It's like a good sandwich.
It's like a good sandwich.
Okay, so Tanya said she loves Virginia too, but she didn't want to make a speech or anything like that. But what we'd love to hear is in the comments down below, we'd love for you to tell us what's unique about your state, what you love about your state, because we love hearing what's out there. We love hearing stories from across the country and even from different countries.
Right.
We love hearing what's unique about where you live. So share down below something that you love about your state. And I'd actually like to put up a challenge to everybody. I'd like to challenge you to stand up for your state. Say positive things about your state. And Linda, she actually runs this small little company called Wildman Decals. And we're gonna have a bumper sticker that you can buy that says stand up for your state. It's nothing political. It's just saying, keep it positive, say what you love, and focus on the good.
Right.
Stand up for your state. But we'd like to thank you all for joining us on this incredible weekend of gas, grub, and ghosts from the shores of Delaware to the Colonial Capitol of Virginia. It's been quite a ride. Until next time, I'm Jeff.
I'm Tanya.
I'm Linda.
I'm Will.
And there's much more to see in the dark. That'll also be on a bumper sticker from Wildman Decals. So check it out. Links down below.